Tax season officially starts right now. What are the key dates that you need to be aware of for a smooth tax season? I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Look forward to it every year because I'm a geek. And guess what? My whole team is. We are all geeks over here. We love tax season. It's busy and it's got its challenges and it gets a little messy at times, but man, we get to see all of our clients, get to do a whole bunch of tax planning. And again, so tax planning is different than tax preparation. Tax preparation is looking back at last year and getting the right number in the right box. Filling out a compliant tax return. There's no fun in that. Yeah, and no one gets excited about that, trust me. Tax planning, though, is proactive. It's looking at how can you pay the least amount of tax over your lifetime, if not multiple lifetimes, and then avoid surprises, okay? And we're all about that. It's the creative side. And then when you've got those ideas, those ways to improve your tax picture, and you look at the rest of your financial life, the other 5 areas, and say, yeah, this makes sense with our cash flow, this makes sense with our retirement plan, this makes sense with our investments and our estate plan. Yeah, let's do this. It's gonna help our taxes and really bring synergy to our financial life. That's where we get pumped. And so tax preparation is a time for the last minute tax planning. I'll get to that, as well as just confirming the plan, that the tax planning strategies that we did last year, how'd they turn out, how did it all work? And so what are the key dates with this tax season so that it can be smooth for you? No surprises, nothing catching you off guard. Well, first, you're likely getting tax documents right now, your W-2s and your interest statements and those sorts of things. All of those are due to be sent to you and delivered to you by the end of January, with really 2 exceptions. And the primary exception being a brokerage account 1099 or 1099 div or something like that. They have a little extra time to get those to you. Most of those come out at some point in February. They're trying to get those out by middle of February. Quick side note to that is they used to have that same requirement of January 31, but so often they had to issue corrective 1099s for brokerage accounts. And so it was like, well, if you're just going to send me an early one, but it's not going to be right, just wait and send me the right one. So that's one exception. The other one is if you own a business or have an estate or a trust and there's a K-1 involved or some sort of tax form related to that, those aren't going to come out by the end of January. But most documents you're going to get by the end of January. And as of right now, today, the day this is airing is January 28th. The filing season is open. You can file. Opened on January 27th for most people, where the IRS is accepting e-files. They're accepting tax returns. It is officially open season and you can file your return. When do you need to do that by? Traditionally, April 15, and that is the date this year. Sometimes when there's a holiday or the day lands on a weekend, then that gets pushed to the 16th, 17th, or later. Nope, it's April 15th this year. That is your deadline. If you are an S Corp, deadline is March 17th. The 15th lands on a Saturday, so the next business day is the 17th. And so S Corps, you're going to want to file by the 17th, some LLCs as well. So those are your deadlines. That's your window. What if you need more time? What if you need an extension? Well, you can file an extension, automatic 6-month extension. They don't even ask you why. You can just say, I need a little extra time. And you got to file those by those same deadlines. So for your S Corp, which is fairly common, you've got to file that extension by March 17, and that will give you an extra 6 months. So September 15. If you file an extension for your personal, it'll give you an extra, you got to do so by April 15, give you an extra 6 months, and so October 15th. A quick note about extensions: if you think you're going to owe taxes, okay, filing an extension gives you an automatic 6 months additional time to file a return, not to pay the tax. The tax is due when the income is earned. And I don't want to get into all the nuances there. We've talked about it before. But what does that mean? Well, it's due when you earn it and through withholdings. That can be any time throughout the year. If it's lumpy, then you've got to pay in estimates. And if you haven't paid in enough through withholdings or estimates, then when you do an extension, if you think, yeah, I'm probably still going to owe about $5,000, you're going to want to send in another $5,000 payment for 2024 with your extension. Otherwise, interest and penalties and so on for underpayment. So that's the tax window. That's if you need extensions. And speaking of time to pay, if you're paying tax estimates, okay, if you're doing withholdings, you can do those throughout the year. You do so through your paycheck. You do those from a retirement withdrawal, a Roth conversion, your RMDs, whatever. Withholdings you can do at any time. But for 2025, so not for last year, 2024, but for 2025, paying taxes, your tax estimates are due unique timings, okay? So your first quarter estimate is due April 15, okay? So that's for 2025. It shares the same deadline for your filing limit or your filing deadline for last year. That's your first quarter estimate. Next quarterly estimate, your second quarterly estimate, you'd think would be 3 months later. It's not. It's 2 months later, but not June 15, June 16 this year. Your third quarter estimate is 3 months after that, so September 15. And then your fourth quarter estimate for 2025 is going to be January 15 of 2026. So those are your estimates. Make sure you're aware of that as well. And those of you that pay estimates know that, this is crunch time because you're preparing last year's return, you're making payments and owing for your 2024 return, at the same time making your first quarter estimate for 2025. So I want all that to be smooth for you, so be aware of those deadlines. And then lastly, speaking of deadlines and speaking of a smooth tax return, there are some last minute tax planning strategies that you can still do up until your tax filing deadline of this year that apply for last year, apply for your 2024 return. Done lots of content on this. Work with your CFP to see which of these ideas, if any, apply for your situation. Contributing to a pre-tax IRA to reduce your income. I just had someone do that we've normally done other contributions, but they had a little extra income land this year. They sold a property, and how can we get some more deductions? And we're in a higher tax bracket this year. Let's do pre-tax IRA instead of Roth. So pre-tax IRA, that can be done all the way up until April 15. You can even say, hey, I solemnly swear to fund this IRA before the tax filing deadline. Put it on your return, increase your refund, use some of that money to contribute to the IRA, and do so for 2024. You can do Roth contributions, Roth IRA contribution up until April 15 as well. And then the other biggie, HSA contributions, health savings account, you can do those up until April 15 for last year as well. And I say that's the biggie because oftentimes people are contributing to their HSA out of their paycheck, but they're not doing the max. And then when they get their tax return, they say, is there anything else we can do? Yeah, you can do an extra $1,500 to the HSA, something like that. And so be aware of that. That's certainly not an exhaustive list. Again, work with your CFP. That's one of the tax planning questions you need to answer. Before you file this year's return, is there anything I can do still now to improve last year's return before I file it? And then, does that make sense in my comprehensive financial plan? So work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.